I want to talk about a couple of herbs that are, I think of them as very funny. Um, I'm thinking like, it's the combination of Chang Pu Acorus and Yuan Zhi Polygala. Now, Yuan Zhi Polygala in many materia medicas gets put in the nourished spirit category. It's not settled spirit, so I guess you could call it that. Maybe it's nourished spirit, if that's what I think. It should be in another category. I think it should be in another category with Chang Pu Acorus called clarifies spirit. Chang Pu Acorus is usually in the open orifices category, which is definitely a clarification of the spirit as well. So I hereby make a new materia medica category, clarify spirit. Yuan Zhi Polygala goes to the heart and the kidney and clarifies the relationship between the heart and the kidney by degunking something that's between them, namely some phlegm. There's a lot of debate in a lot of different texts as to what that third organ is. Some people say it's the spleen transforming the phlegm between the heart and the kidney. In other words, ideas, thoughts, or rather, I guess you'd call them mal thoughts, conclusions, concepts, stories that are getting between your heart and your essence, so that as you try to look down at who you are, you've got a lot of conclusions and ideas and stories in the way. Yeah. Or some say that it is the small intestine that's doing the clarifying. That makes a lot of sense. And in a lot of formulas, it's like, that's probably the small intestine. Guipi Tong being a great example. In which case, it's sorting the pure from the impure. And it's like, yeah, what? Yeah, is this true? Like, to clarify, like, what, like, am I really like that? Or like, what actually really happened? Who am I actually, and what is the nature of my essence? And sometimes it's said to be the lung dissolving the phlegm, in which case there's a kind of a feeling of taintedness or uncleanness. Like, so that when the heart looks down at who we are, we feel tainted, we feel ugly, unclean, unnatural, possibly like even perverted in some way. Sometimes that perverted feeling comes in with the small intestine as well, and usually it's a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm thinking about somebody who had sexual desires on the fantasy level that if he really wanted that in real life, he would have been very ashamed of, if that's what he really wanted. But the small intestine is the realm of symbol. And so sometimes we have imagistic desires and fantasies that they're symbolic. And the small intestine with this herb in a formula was able to sort that out and say, this is what I love about this. This is just what it's dressed up in. That's not the main point. The herb as a whole, Yuan Zhi Polygala, is for a kind of unsettledness of the spirit that's like kind of muddly and confused and like a kind of state of being confused about who I am and what I want, because I don't really want to be clear about it, because I'm really afraid that if I knew, I'd be so ashamed of myself. I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be so horrified to find out that I'm like that I'd rather just be confused. So there are a lot of people with that, like, if I try and think about it, it just makes me feel kind of sick. I don't really want to know what I'm really like, because I might be awful. So let's not go there. Let's have fun or something like that. Let's do some things and not think about them all that much. And the Yuan Zhi Polygala, I love this. It's so clarifying. It holds you and says, okay, we're going to take a walk right through this to vaporize the gunk and the gook and the confusion and the misunderstanding and the tarnish, to find out who you really are. And when you find out who you really are, there's no doubt about it. You're going to discover that you're pretty weird. Because you are, if you're honest. If you're honest. If you're really honest, you're really weird. Everybody is. That's the uniqueness that Yuan Zhi reveals in that clear pathway between the heart, where we're everybody, we're exactly the same as everyone, and the kidney, where nobody else is like us. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess this is me. Forward we go. Well, I'll tell a Yuan Zhi Polygala joke. It's all, Yuan Zhi Polygala is the main herb for really, really stupid mistakes, like unbelievable mistakes, like how the hell did you, what? Like the kind of thing that makes you like, what? Freudian slips, lots of Freudian slips. If you make a lot of Freudian slips, that's Yuan Zhi Polygala. So here's the Yuan Zhi Polygala joke. And the woman who told it to me had this little voice, so I'm going to tell it the way she told it. She said, I have a psychoanalyst joke. A man went to his psychoanalyst and he said, I made a really big mistake. I was at dinner with my parents, and what I meant to say was, please pass the peas. But what came out was, you fucked up my whole life! So there you have it. Definitely a Yuan Zhi Polygala moment. It's often in formulas with Shi Chang Pu Acorus, which kind of does the same thing on the outside that the Yuan Zhi is doing on the inside. The Yuan Zhi helps the heart be able to clarify the phlegm and penetrate to our true nature. And the Shi Chang Pu Acorus helps to clarify the phlegm in our perceptuum, or our perceptual, conceptual continuum, in order to be able to clarify the essence of reality from beyond our stories. This is an incredible feeling. Let me see if you can let me transmit it to you. It's an amazing feeling of the light in the heart, which is a completely transpersonal light. It's just the light of reality. We're not talking about your emotions. We're talking about the part of you that is just here to make contact with reality. It's just that contact with reality has to take place through a bunch of holes in your head. And there's separate holes in your head, such that the holes in your head that are hearing me are a different channel than the holes in your head that are seeing me. If we were in person, you'd also be smelling me. I don't know if we'd get to the tasting or not. I don't know. But at any rate, there's a bunch of holes in your head through which your heart is yearning to make contact with that which is. And so the Yuan Zhi, and so the Shi Chang Pu Acorus is vaporizing the old junk. I've seen it before. I know what it looks like. I know what she's saying. I know who that is. Away from the eyes, away from the ears. Teilhard de Chardin says, now the eyes of my eyes are open. Now the ears of my ears can hear. It's a freshness of actually being here to see it, to hear it, without past stories and junk in the way. Who are you? Who is this person you're looking at? What is this life that you're looking at? Not clouded by all kinds of accumulated junk. If we were to actually look at, oh, this is what we have. This is what we have. What would we see? And the ability to combine the Chang Pu Acorus ability to see from beyond our preconceptions and our old stories, our conclusions, and our ability to look inside at ourselves at the same time, to know what we really want and what we really are, who we really are. It's a clarified invitation to live as ourselves in the light. Here I am. This is it. Connection between the deepest essence, between the sunshine of today.